Today we are making a mini cupcake tower for any occasion. I made this for a good friend of mine who was leaving our office and I wanted to make a special goodbye gift for her. Of course, I made a whole batch of mini cupcakes for my other colleagues as well. For the cupcakes, you'll need 3 eggs, 200 milliliters vegetable oil, 250 gram sugar, 200 milliliters milk, 350 gram flour, 1 package of baking powder, 30 grams cacao, and a bit of vanilla extract. For the assembling, you'll need a container of your choice. I chose a mug that she can use in her new workspace, a fitting piece of styrofoam. If you don't want to have a container, you can of course go directly with a piece of styrofoam that will sit firmly on a flat surface. Some kind of decoration. I had some sprinkles and decided which to use on the spot. Chocolate of your choice. I didn't want to work with buttercream or an icing as I was going to carry this tower in public transportation. Chocolate is better for that, I think. And lastly, you'll need toothpicks or any other sticks that you'll use for assembling this tower. First, cream the sugar and eggs together until they are real smooth. Add the milk and start adding the flour together with the baking powder. In between that, I poured the oil in as well. Don't forget to add just a bit of your vanilla extract and continue adding your flour. At the very end, I added the cacao and started pouring in the dough into the cupcake molds. Of course, depending on the size of your mini cupcakes, you will have way too many with this amount of dough. But this is totally intentional. Anything can happen in the kitchen. That's why I'd rather have too many cupcakes than having too few. In total, I got about 50. Some of them stuck to the silicone mold, which just confirms my theory, well, you can't ever have too many cupcakes. Again, depending on the size of your mini cupcake, this may change, but I baked mine at 170 degrees for about 10 minutes. While rummaging through other stuff to use on this tower, I found my tiny layered cake mold and thought that it would fit in here perfectly. My first plan was to have only the tiny cupcakes, but this was a nice spur of the moment idea. After the cupcakes have cooled down, I cut out a tiny bit at the bottom of the layered mini cake so that it will sit onto the styrofoam firmly. And now it's time to decorate. I melted the chocolate and poured them over the cakes and added my sprinkles here and there. Of course, you don't need any sprinkles. Plain would do great too. I actually wanted to make a few marbled with dark chocolate or even make some simple stripes as well. But seeing that I was going for a more pastelish vibe, I didn't make it here. If you should try to make this, I'd love to see your creations and decorations. While the chocolate is cooling off, prepare your styrofoam bowl for the mounting. I usually thought that I would just stick the cupcakes onto it and hope that the styrofoam wouldn't show, but of course I was wrong. I took a nice and colored tissue and put it around the bowl and pushed it in so that it wouldn't play around too much. After that, I cut an X on the top of the bowl so that I could insert a stick for my mini layered cake. As it was a tad too long, I cut it off and carefully placed the cake onto the stick. My favorite part now was the arranging. I had, of course, prepared quite a bit of them and just stuck the toothpick a bit upwards so that the cupcakes wouldn't slide off. Even for the lower ones, just stick them in horizontally or maybe even a bit upward so that they stay in place. At the very end, I bound a ribbon for the last touch and ta-da! You got some handmade sweet gift for your loved ones. My friend was overwhelmed at this gift and thanked me so much more than it is possibly worth. The other cupcakes I packed up for my colleagues, well, they were just as happy to have some nice treat at work. Maybe this video will give you the incentive to try to make a sweet gift for your friend and family as well. Like I said before, I'd love to see yours. Oh, and before I forget, I got a huge sheet of thick plastic wrap to be able to carry this safely to the office and so that she could carry it home as well. All the information for this recipe is in the description below, along with different types of measurements and other information. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe.